Hello and welcome. One of the questions that people love to ask is there a God? And if there is a God, how do we know that God exists? To answer this question, let us first talk about man. Because man sometimes is the competitor or the competition of God. He is the one who wants to prove God wrong at every given opportunity. Of course, I'm not saying not every man, but the world has become like that. They're trying to disprove God, to say there's no God at any given platform. I'll begin with man. And man has got some points here. Yes, man has got some points. That company that you run, you sat down, you thought of some things, you did your research, and now you've got a business that is a big company. A good example is Coca-Cola. What I'm saying is this. Man is able to sit down, think up a plan, and have something to show. Which is why man would want to think that there is no God, because there are things that man does and they're just wonderful. They're out of this world. Man can now fly to outer space in a spacecraft. Man can fly above the clouds on an aeroplane or just below the clouds. And so it is unlimited what man can do. Man is an achiever. That's what I'm trying to say. Man is an achiever. And I'll give again, let me give an example of the company Coca-Cola. Someone sat down and thought up of what they were going to achieve, and they achieved it. Of course, Coca-Cola is a multi-billion-dollar company. And man, once his mind is put to a test, he will always achieve things that are wonderful. So which means, to some extent, man is in control. Man is not in control of his health, his death day or his birthday, or what will happen tomorrow. But apart from those things, man is in control. Which is why his being in control would have him to doubt if there is a God in the first place. Because where you work right now, maybe you applied, or maybe you just came across the job. That motor vehicle, man-made. The aeroplane, man-made. And the Arabs now built a hotel on top of the sea. Yes, a hotel on top of the sea. Fascinating. Man-made. So which means man is God's competitor. That's a fact. Which is why he always tries to disprove God. And yet, man is God's creation. Man was made after God's own image. Okay, I was talking on behalf of man. Now I'll speak on behalf of God. God is the author of perfection. The sun would rise in the morning and will set every evening without fail. Perfection. Now tell me, yes, the things I mentioned are man-made. Did the sun, did the moon just appear from nowhere? Because you as a man, you've got your accolades, you've got your achievements, you've got your pride and joy. I made that aeroplane. I began that business. Yes, I married that wife, and these are my children. Things like the sun, we've got the animals, the birds, who actually move in perfection because God is perfect. Did those things just fall out of the sky? Did those things just come from nowhere? Maybe you don't believe in creation. Maybe you believe in evolution. But even still, that creature did it come from nowhere? But the Bible says in Genesis chapter 1 verse 26, man was made after God's own image, not after the image of an ape or a monkey, but God's own image. And I believe the Bible. The overlooked facts are this: the sun, the moon, the seas, the fish, the shooting stars, the solar eclipse, the birds, the bees, the animals. In the animal kingdom, there are literally thousands of species. Did those things just appear from nowhere? God is the creator. Now, God has many attributes. As a creator, everything gives a memorial that is a God in heaven. Everything upon this earth. The sun, the moon, the animals, the insects, the reptiles, the birds. They are just giving you a reminder, a memorial that is a God in heaven. Those things did not appear from nowhere. Even if you are scientific or if you are atheist, you are the one who made the aeroplane, that is man. You are the one who formed a blue chip company like Pepsi, that is man. You. Now, where did the sun, the animals come from? Where did you come from? The overlooked facts. And creation is just giving us a reminder, a memorial that in heaven is a God, because God does these things wasn't for all. He makes the sun, the moon, then he rests. And he watches over his creation. Whereas if Coca-Cola is not manned on a daily basis, it will collapse. But God does these things once, and they just go on and on forever. That speaks of what? Eternity. You know, in nature, the moon, the sun are God's attributes of eternity. They speak of eternity. It does something once, it goes on. No, just go to Pepsi, the plant, and the workers are on strike. The next day, you're going to count losses. But the moon, the sun, they know no strike. They're always there. Because they are talking to you that there is a being out there who is eternal. And so those creations, they themselves behave eternally. The sun will rise every morning without fail. The sun will set every morning without fail. And so to understand God, we must know He is eternal. We must know He is perfect. Man was meant to be eternal. The first man, Adam, then he fell. Then came the second and the last man, Adam, Jesus Christ, to save us, to make us beings that are eternal again, which means our work is meant to be eternal. Almost like at the push of a button. Can I prove this? In Eden, Adam made everything. Which company did he run? Where did he work? Of course, though he was managing the Eden, the garden, he had everything to begin with. Only when he fell, then God says, man will now have to sweat to earn a living. He's got to work very hard. But Adam was in paradise. Adam, he was representing eternity. God, who made everything for Adam in the first place, the gold, all manner of fruit trees and herbs, everything. It was like an eternal cycle. And so, man, even though his achievements, he walks on a limp. I don't care how big your company is, he's walking on a limp. Let your workers go and strike. Let the markets fall. Let the dollar fall. You're in trouble. But God's order is perfection. And so, look at perfection. Look at eternity. You see the sun. You see the moon. A reminder of God's own nature. That is what Adam had. It is what Adam lost. Read the book of Genesis chapter 5. It says Adam died. A man was meant to live forever. And so man denies being part of God. A son of an elephant is an elephant, which means a son of God is a God. And so man denies being a God. Because man was supposed to be the God of the earth and God, the God of the universe. But man, he fights God. He tries to disprove God. To disprove God. And so that is the overlooked fact or factors that there's a God in heaven, because there are attributes of God in man which man denies. The attributes of God in the sun, which the sun loves to show forth. Every morning, every evening, the sun rising, the sun setting, giving you a reminder that there's a God in heaven. And so, maybe you don't believe in God. Where did creation come from? Where did the sun come from? Did it just fall out of the moon? And did you find out which planet that sun came from? Anyway, my name is Raymond Mafukidze. I love the work of God. If you want to support the work of the cross, please go to www.heavenbread.org. You spell Yugo is YOOCO.org. That's heavenbread.yugo.org. Those are the overlooked facts that there's a God in heaven. Even on the earth, God is omniscient, He's everywhere. How do we know that God exists? Look at His attributes. He's perfect. In the Son, He's perfect. He's eternal. And whatever is His, the spirit of eternity, or pitching eternity to the world. God bless you.